How's Noah Syndergaard progressing in his return from Tommy John surgery? And who's been impressing on both sides of the ball in live BP? I'm Mets beat writer Anthony Dicomo, and I'll have the answers for you in this edition of Daily Bases. The wild card to this entire Mets season may be Noah Syndergaard, a generally outspoken pitcher who's been pretty quiet since undergoing Tommy John surgery last March. Syndergaard has been throwing bullpen sessions here at Mets camp with an eye toward returning around June. In the interim, in addition to his throwing, he's doing all sorts of conditioning, weightlifting activities, rehab exercises, with members of the team's performance staff looking on. He recently began throwing breaking pitches for the first time since surgery, though for Syndergaard, it's about discipline as he hits these milestones coming off surgery. In the words of pitching coach Jeremy Hefner, the work ethic is never in question with Noah. New owner Steve Cohen has made his presence felt at Mets camp, spending portions of the first 2 weekends here in Port St. Lucie. During the second of his visits, Cohen spent time with team president Sandy Alderson and others in the front office hierarchy. He also took in live BP and other drills on the field, stopping to converse with Michael Conforto and Francisco Lindor. Notable because those are two players that the Mets, with Cohen's money, could consider extending this spring. He also got an up-close look at some of the Mets' analytical systems. Manager Luis Rojas said he's looking forward to a continued presence from Cohen, who overhauled the roster after buying the team last November. This time of year, live BPs are always the talk of camp, and Jacob deGrom started the Mets off hot, hitting 99 miles per hour on the radar gun. Also of note was Dellin Betances, who sat around 91 miles per hour during his first session. That may not sound like much for a reliever who once routinely hit up the radar gun with triple-digit readings, but it's a significant step forward from where Betances was at this time last spring, coming off an Achilles injury. He hopes that figure will continue rising and that he can get back more routinely into the mid-90s during the season. Also of note, teammate Taijuan Walker, whose first live BP was notable because Francisco Lindor took him deep. Straightaway center field, over the fence, and bouncing all the way to his shed, well beyond the wall. One final live BP of note belonged to Sam McWilliams, a 25-year-old whom the Mets signed to a big league deal this winter, despite his never having pitched previously in the big leagues. McWilliams hit 95 miles per hour during his first live BP session, though that came with a fair bit of wildness. Even so, this is an arm that intrigues the Mets as an option for their 2021 bullpen. Under the Rays' tutelage last summer, McWilliams greatly improved his velocity, going from the low 90s all the way up to the upper 90s. He's been a starting pitcher throughout his 6-year minor league career, but the Mets see him more as a swingman type who could potentially give them multiple innings at a stretch out of their bullpen. One unique aspect to this year's camp? The Mets have invited nearly all their top prospects, hoping to find them reps following a lost minor league season. That includes last June's first-round draft pick, Pete Crow Armstrong, as well as the organization's top overall pitching prospect, right-hander Matt Allen. The Mets have paired Allen with Jacob deGrom here at Mets camp, hoping that he can soak up some pointers from the two-time Cy Young Award winner. deGrom has willingly played the part of mentor. The piece of advice that stuck most with Allen? Don't overcomplicate things. Just go out and pitch, and everything will eventually become easier. And that does it for this edition of Mets Daily Bases. I'm Anthony Dicomo, reminding you to keep it tuned to MLB.com and MLB Network for your coverage all season long.